everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Danny from Fitness with Danny, and today I'm going to be sharing with you an intermediate upper body and core program. It's going to be 21 minutes long and we are going to be using 7 different exercises. So we have got some dorsal raises, some prone swimmers, pulse press-ups, some bear crawls, some side crawls, some figure eights, and some side planks. Now, if all of those exercises seem quite familiar, don't need any instruction on them, skip straight ahead to the video, make sure you've had a warm-up and I'll see you there. If you do want a little bit of coaching on them, however, stick around, I'm going to explain them now. First off, guys, let's just go through the system that we're using. So we've got 3 different sections, okay? This one's the back, this one's the front / core, and this one is just the core. So, section 1, dorsal raises and prone swimmers. We're working for 60 seconds, resting for 30 seconds between the exercises, and we're doing that 3 times. Section 2, this one is a little bit more intense. So everything's going to be 30 seconds, bang, 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 one after the other, and then we're going to have 30 seconds to rest at the end, 2 minutes per round. Again, there's going to be 3 of those. And then your figure eights and your side planks in your last section, 30 seconds each, obviously for the side planks, 30 seconds each side, and then 30 seconds rest. Again, a 2-minute round, 3 rounds. Okay, that's it, guys. Let's start going through the exercises. Okay guys, so dorsal raises. Now, as we're doing an intermediate program today, I'm going to assume that you guys have done a dorsal raise before or something similar to it, or at the very least understand the importance of it, particularly when we are training with our body weight and training at home. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the exercise today. If you want a bit more of a detailed explanation of it, I've covered this in beginners videos before and I'll link one of them to this. So while they may not be the most intense exercise in this program, they're definitely the most complicated, okay? Which is one of the reasons we're doing them first. So watch very closely. To do the dorsal raise properly, we're going to go through 7 steps, okay? So we're going to be lying down like so, palms turned down, and we're going to go number 1 is the toes, number 2 is the knees, number 3 is your bum, squeeze your cheeks together like you're trying to hold a piece of paper. Number 4 is going to be inhaling and lifting your torso off the floor. Number 5 is raising your hands. Number 6 is pointing your thumbs up. And number 7 is trying to reach towards your toes, okay? So depressing my shoulders, getting them away from my ears. You're going to hold that for the duration that you can hold your breath, and then you're going to breathe out and relax everything completely. Okay, so it's vital that you guys follow all of those steps. Okay, now I'll just do one more rep so you guys can pay attention. This is one of those ones that you'll probably want to practice before the video if that doesn't seem quite simple and quite familiar to you. Like I said, very intricate, but all of the steps are extremely important. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's your dorsal raise. So prone swimmers, guys, very similar to the dorsal raise. So your initial setup is going to be hands out in front of you, everything relaxed, and your forehead on the floor. Now from there, we're going to do the same 3 steps to begin. Toes, knees, bum. Difference is, once we've done this doesn't change. We're not coming in and out of that position at all. That's going to stay locked in for 60 seconds while you move your upper body. Okay? So once we're locked in with those 3 movements, and we're over here, we're going to, on an inhale, lift our torso off the floor, just like the dorsal raise. But when we do that, the hands are going to come with us, and we're going to pull pull, imagine a bar in front of you. We're going to pull that bar towards our chest and drive our elbows towards our sides, okay? And we want to be squeezing our shoulder blades together as we do so. And similar kind of thing as when we were reaching for the toes with the dorsal raise, we're going to think about reaching our elbow towards our hips so that shoulder comes down and stays away from our ear, okay? So I'll demo a couple reps for you. Okay. So, you noticed I inhaled as I lifted, I exhaled as I folded and put my forehead on the floor. And when you put your forehead on the floor, just kiss the floor with it, touch it, don't actually flop down and relax, okay? And last little thing with that is when you're moving the hand, don't move quickly as if you're pulling something hard. Move slowly through it and then squeeze at the end, and you're just holding your breath for a second or two as you're squeezing your elbows towards your side, your shoulder blades together. And don't forget, everything from here downwards needs to be locked in, particularly the glutes. So if we don't lock these guys in, we're going to be putting way too much work here and not enough work at the top, which is what we're targeting here. So pulse press-ups, guys, exactly the same as a press-up, but with a little pulse at the bottom, okay? So whether you do a full press-up or a kneeling press-up, I'm not too fussed. I'm assuming you know how to do a press-up, but just in case, wrist directly under shoulder, hips locked in, stomach tight, bum tight, head looking just in front of us, and then all we're going to do is lower ourselves to the lowest range we can, little pulse there, and push up. So down, pulse, up. Okay, make sure we're fully locking out that elbow as we push up. So bear crawls, these are a really good one of my favourites. Now we're going to be crawling forwards and backwards. Depends how much room you've got. You can take 2 steps forwards, 2 back, 4 forwards, 4 back, 6, whatever it is. Make sure it's an even number. Now our setup is just like so, okay? So it's actually just the same as crawling as a baby would, okay? So we're going to have both of our wrists directly under shoulders, both of our knees directly under hips. Now the difference is, between this and crawling like a baby, is you're going to push your toes into the floor and lift your knees off the floor a centimetre. Don't want to see any of this, they're off a centimetre. From there you're going to move forwards with opposite limbs, leaving and landing together. Okay, so right hand, left foot, over here, and then the opposites. Okay, now when you run out of room, if you're just doing 2 steps like myself and you're just working on a mat, it's the reverse. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2. Opposite limbs, okay? And your head is always looking just in front of you. A few things to watch out for. As you get tired, your knees are going to begin to raise off the floor. Keep them as close to the floor as you can so that we can work our cores, okay? Another thing, coordination is tricky, particularly when you go backwards, okay? So try and make it slow, robotic, and take tiny steps, okay? So, hum, 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 okay? Listen to the sound as well. The sound actually helps you to coordinate it quite well. So side crawls are almost exactly the same. So the initial setup is exactly the same. Okay, we're here and we lift the knees a centimetre off the floor. Now this time, we're just moving side to side, but it's going to be the same thing, opposite limbs. This is harder to coordinate. Maybe not as hard to coordinate as the backward bear crawl, but definitely harder than the forwards. Okay, so we're in this box position, then we go opposite limbs a little bit, and back. Again, 2 steps, 4 steps, whatever you've got room for. It's not about how big the step is, particularly when we're working in a small space at home. It's about the coordination to it, okay? That's your side crawl. So figure eights. So there's a few ways to do this. The way I'm going to show you today is going to have you starting off by sitting on your bums, okay? And you're going to get hands going out fairly wide take them a step backwards, and then you're going to support yourself on them. Now I don't want you to let your body fold like so. You're going to have your chest raised, okay? But don't raise too high, because then you're going to hyperextend the bottom portion of your spine, and that's going to switch this off, which is what we're trying to work, okay? So once your hands are in position and you're leaning back a bit, before you go to lift those legs off the floor, I want you to squeeze your stomach and then raise your chest, okay? Make sure you can feel that tension in your stomach. From there, we're just going to lift them up. Knees aren't going to be locked, but just a little bit soft. And then we're going to draw a number 8 with our feet. Okay? Let me show you from this way. So I'm out here, stomach is tight, chest is high, but not too high. And I'm drawing a number 8. Pretty shoddy one, but it's a number 8 nonetheless. Right, last but not least, side planks. So this is just an isometric hold, guys. Now you can do this with your knees up or your knees down, depending on your level of difficulty. Now either way, we want your elbow directly underneath your shoulder, and we want that shoulder away from your ear. We want it stacked, drawn downwards, okay? Now, when you're going to set yourself up, let's look at the full version first. So we're going to have feet together, knees together, and one foot on top of the other for this variation, okay? And all we're going to do is raise a hand and lift up. And we're looking to have a straight line all the way through our body, okay? From there, I want you guys to raise a leg, okay? And you're going to hold that, so we're going to have a little bit of a side leg raise with it. Now let me show you the kneeling version. It's exactly the same, the only difference is your bottom leg, okay? So you can start by bending both to 90 degrees, then extending the top leg. Everything else is exactly the same. Lift up, lift up, lift up, and hold that position. Okay, now let's talk a little bit more about a couple of the mistakes I see. So first off is the hips. The hips are usually what throws people out. Now obviously our aim here, our main aim, is keeping our hips off the floor and not letting them bow in, so that we can work all these muscles around here. But what we also want, I'll show you from this side, is a nice straight line all the way through. So the main mistake I see with this one is people coming up into this position. So I don't know how well you can see from there, but I've actually got a little bend here. So I want to straighten my knees and straighten my hips. And the way I'm going to straighten my hips is by squeezing my glutes a little bit to pop them forwards into hip extension. Okay, I'll show you one more time. Most people come here, I want you to come here. Okay, now the leg raise, a little bit of it. So obviously the higher the better. The way I'm going to get you guys to do it is to come into a little bit more hip extension and slightly internally rotate the hip too. So our target here is a little thing called glute med. Very, very important muscle. Won't go into it. But anyway, so if we watch from a side view, when we go to lift up, I definitely don't want you guys to let that foot come forwards. But I don't just want it on top of your body. I actually want it behind your body, as high as you can get it, and then slightly pointed down, and you'll feel that really fire up. Okay, so behind the body, high as you can, toe pointed downwards, as best you can. Okay, quite a hard thing to do. Alright, that's all the exercises, guys. Shall we? Okay guys, section 1, dorsal raisers and prone swimmers. 60 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Now you can't watch the video for this section, okay? Head position is vital. So if you're still a little bit unsure on these two exercises, because they are the most complicated, the most intricate, please rewatch the instructional part again and try them on your own. Or you can just watch me for the first 2 rounds and join the first round and join in on the second 2. Okay, right, well in 5 seconds guys. So, lying down, completely relaxed, palms flat, and toes, knees, bum. Inhale and raise, hands up, thumbs up, reach down, hold the breath. When you run out of oxygen, relax everything, okay? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 30 seconds rest. Okay, so quite tricky, quite intricate. You'll have noticed a couple things there when I was doing it after I stopped talking. So how long I'm going is until I run out of oxygen or I feel too much pressure, okay? You'll also notice that I didn't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the last couple reps. I kind of did them all together. So when the position becomes more comfortable, you can do that as well, okay? All right, lie back down, prone swimmers. Toes, knees, bum, keep them there and inhale. Make sure you're getting the breathing in rhythm, guys. Make sure that bum is squeezed the whole time. As you raise up, try and raise as high as you can. And as you squeeze as hard as you can. Time. 30 seconds to rest. So you should feel your entire back lighting up now. Now with both exercises, you're always trying to raise your chest as high as you can with your butt tight. Butt has to be tight here, guys. With the squeezing parts, so here, you're squeezing together as hard as you can. And with here, again, you're reaching down, squeezing together and turning out as hard as you can for the duration. Okay, back to dorsal raises. Toes, knees, bum. Inhale up, lift, rotate, reach, hold, squeeze. Quick breath. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. So the reason we're breathing the way we are is that breathing in will excite muscles responsible for extending your spine, breathing out for flexing, okay? So the first one we're extending and holding, so we breathe in and hold. For the second we're extending and flexing, so we breathe in, breathe out to assist those muscles and get a better range of motion and a slightly more functional movement, a more transferable movement. Okay, pull-ups. Here we go. So toes, knees, bum. Keep the bum tight, keep squeezing. Good, time. 2 rounds down, 1 to go. So, our target here, guys, is the middle of the back, right? So working at this section here, as well as the upper back, particularly between the shoulder blades and around the shoulder blade area. Now, if you find that you're feeling this more in your lower back than anywhere else, you need to work on engaging those glutes as best you can, okay? And when you raise up, think about only raising up to a level where you feel the upper back doing it and not the lower back. All right, dorsal raises, here we go. Toes, knees, bum, inhale, lift, hands up, hands out, hands down. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good, 30 seconds rest. Ooh. One more on the prone swimmers and then we are on to section 2, okay? Press ups, bear crawls and side crawls. All of those are 30 seconds, but 30 seconds rest at the end, but no rest in between. And remember, we're doing that 3 times, okay? Get yourselves ready for your last exercise on this section. Toes, knees, bum, keep them locked and off you go. Okay, rest. You have 30 seconds and then we're straight into the pulse press ups. Have a quick sip of water. Now this is probably going to be physically the most intense round. Okay. So, knees on the floor, knees off the floor. I don't really mind if your knees are off the floor. Try not to put them down between the exercises. I want quick transitions. Okay, keep the intensity up, keep the muscles burning a little bit. All right, here we go. Down, pulse, up. Note the breathing as well, guys. Okay, bear crawls. Remember, even amount of steps, whatever kind of distance you're working with. And imagine you have a beer on your back. You're not allowed to spill that. So keep those knees close to the floor. No sloping. Don't let your bum come up at all. Should be pretty much the same height as your shoulders the whole way. And then just think about the coordination. Okay, sideways. Good. Rest. 30 seconds. Quite hard on the shoulders, right? Core as well. Okay. Try and find a rhythm to the breathing. Okay. You want to breathe that entire time here. because we need the energy. And that pulse at the bottom, just a tiny little pulse, okay? Right at the end of your range. All right, get yourselves ready, guys. There you go. Go at a pace you can maintain. Keep the core tight. Keep the hands directly underneath your shoulders. Okay, bear crawls. Slow, robotic, deliberate steps. Okay, opposite limbs. Remember, back nice and flat. Head looking ever so slightly in front of you. Right, sideways. Take your time. Coordination is not easy with these, particularly if it's your first time doing them. Time. Whew. Only one more to go. Told you it was the most intense. Okay. And with all three movements, hands are directly underneath shoulders. No matter how wide you go, they're still under the shoulders. Okay. If you feel you're losing form, slow it down. Drop your knees for the press-ups. Absolutely fine. Form is key. Okay, bear crawls. Keep going, guys. It's your last set. Okay, sideways. Remember that beer on your back. Take it slow with the coordination. Ooh, time. Sip of water. Only one more section to go. So, figure eights and side planks. Okay, get into position. Hands out wide, lean back, core tight, chest up, and then feet up. Keep that core tight as you make your figure eight. Notice I take my in-breath as my feet come towards my center. And I breathe out as they come away, where I need more pressure. Okay, side plank with the leg raise. Elbow under shoulder, feet together, hips off the floor, arm up, foot up. And remember that foot goes back and points down. Keep it as high as you can. And then we're just trying to keep that balance. Oops. Should feel it burning around the hips, around the side of the core, pretty much everywhere. Okay, roll it over. Same rules apply. Remember, keep it up, high as you can, point it down and push it behind you a little bit. And the elbow is always directly underneath the shoulder. Almost there, guys. Keep it going, keep it going. Ooh. Not easy, huh? Quick rest, guys, 30 seconds. Got 2 more rounds of that. Ooh. Remember on those side planks as well, forgot to mention, both glutes are squeezed to keep us in hip extension so that we're not flexing and taking tension away and putting it in other places. Alright, get ready for your figure eights. I'll show you from a side view this time so you can see to which level I'm leant back. Okay, side planks. I'll show you kneeling down this time. Okay, so this is sort of your half version. All the same rules apply. That floating leg is slightly behind you, pointed downward. Hand is up, glutes are tight, elbows underneath shoulder. You're trying to hold that leg up as high as you can without letting your hips drop either. Keep it going. Alright, swap sides. Okay. Ooh, almost there. One more round to go. One more round to go. Don't lose focus now, guys. I know you're tired. Keep that form though. Okay. Remember, whatever you're doing, if you feel you're losing form, you need to slow down. You need to stop. You need to rest. Form is essential. Okay. It's not just risking hurting yourself. Even if you're not, you're building bad habits, and that we can't have, guys, because they stay with you. Here we go.
Round 27.
Remember, stomach tight the whole time. We're constantly trying to draw our navel inwards, our belly button towards our spine. Remember, breathe out when your legs are furthest from your center. So you've got more support for your spine, more intra-abdominal pressure. Okay, straight into side planks. I'll show you full again. Sliding. Keep everything nice and straight, everything locked in. Keep that leg as high as you can. Keep it behind you, keep it pointing down. Whoop. And swap. Oh. Okay, time. Do whatever you need to do, guys. Rock into child pose. Have a sip of water, have a relax. You are finished. Well done for completing that. That was a hard one. Whew. Yeah, quite an intricate one. First two particularly, and a bit of a burnout in the middle for the shoulders. I'm sure some of you, like myself, found the side planks particularly difficult. Not just because they're the last exercise, but because they're isometric. All depends on your kind of makeup, the training you've been doing. But people like myself find holding anything, holding a position, extremely difficult. We're much more catered towards movement. But so yeah, don't worry if you found that hard. I did too. Alright, that's it everyone. So thank you for joining me. Well done for getting through that. Make sure you have a cool down now. And if you like that video, or you want to do it again at some point, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the favourites button. So you can just go into your favourites on YouTube, select this video whenever you want to do it again. Thanks for joining me. See you again next time.